What has two broken legs and floats down river? People who tell Sinatra jokes. Hey, what's good, fam? Teacher Eddie back with another ERB reaction. Today we're doing Frank Sinatra versus Freddie Mercury, two of the greatest of all times. Let's get into it.
Frank Sinatra!
What's wrong with your face, baby? Yikes! With those teeth, would you throw them in no dust left the bite? Christ, newsflash, kid, this is show business! Show some class when you dress, shave that bush off your lips! Whoa!
Jesus. Sinatra, come on, man. Going in on Freddie's looks right away from the beginning. What's wrong with your face, baby? Trying to say something's wrong with Freddie Mercury's face. Of course, Freddie Mercury was famous for having the big overbite, right? That's because he actually had 4 extra teeth. He refused to get them removed because he thought that they helped him with his singing. So he felt if he had those 4 teeth removed, he wouldn't sing as well. And the bush on his lips, of course, referring to Freddie Mercury's famous mustache. Beautiful mustache. A mustache to be envied. I've been growing this bitch out for like 7 years, and this is all I got.
Baby, yikes! With those teeth, would you throw them in no dust?
There'll be no dust left to bite. Reference, of course, to the famous Queen song. Another one bites dust. Another one bites the dust.
Left the bite? Christ, newsflash, kid, this is show business! Show some class when you dress, shave that bush off your lips! Whoa! Your band's name Queen, huh? Ain't that sweet? You dance like you rode a bicycle race with no seat!
I was hoping he wasn't going to do it, but he's going in for the gay jokes. Of course, Freddie Mercury famously bisexual, but more homosexual, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. None of my business, to be honest with you. Whatever the man did that made him happy, made him happy. But of course, reference to a bicycle with no seat, meaning it's going to go up your... and of course, there's a famous Queen song called Bicycle Race, one of my favorite Queen songs. There was something else before that.
Kid, this is show business.
Oh, this is show business. So Sinatra was known, of course, for dressing, in suits, him and the Rat Pack, Dean Martin, Peter Lawford, Sammy Davis Jr., Joey Bishop. They would perform a lot in Las Vegas, famously at the Sands in Vegas, and they would dress up formally, whereas Mercury was more about jeans, a t-shirt, bicycle suits, dressing sometimes in dresses, and he looked fabulous doing it, whereas Sinatra's more old school. He's known as a crooner. He comes more from the big band era, from the 40s, the 50s. So he feels that, Mercury isn't representing properly. And he also sang a song called There's No Business Like Show Business.
Show some class when you dress, shave that bush off your lips. Whoa! Your band's name Queen, huh? Ain't that sweet? You dance like you rode a bicycle race with no seat. That's what's wrong with you people. You'll do anything to get famous.
Oh, what do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? What are you talking about? He did the thing with the hands.
It's like you rode a bicycle race with no seat. That's what's wrong with you people. You'll do anything to get famous. You changed your name to Mercury. You should have been Freddie Uranus.
That's right. Freddie Mercury's name was not actually Freddie Mercury. I don't remember. I believe his first name was Farouk. I do know he was born in Zanzibar. I only know that because of the Tenacious D song, Fuck Her Gently, which I love singing at karaoke. And there's a line there about Zanzibar. And because of that, I know that is where Freddie Mercury was born. But his birth name was not Freddie Mercury. He said, you should change, instead of changing your name to Mercury, which is a planet, you should have chosen Uranus. Get it? Get it? Because you like it in the buttocks.
You think I haven't heard those things before? You're just a bully who's too scared to go to war.
Yeah, I was hoping he was good. Okay, good. He's saying he's dressed in that famous Freddie Mercury attire. Sinatra, allegedly, but come on, we know He paid off due to his connections with organized crime. Apparently, he paid off a doctor to write him some blah, 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 so he wouldn't have to go to war. So, yes, much like John Wayne and all these tough guys who played war heroes and all that stuff, Frank Sinatra famously won an Academy Award for playing a war hero during World War II while stationed in Hawaii, and it takes place during Pearl Harbor. He won an Best Supporting Actor Oscar for that, but he never actually went to war.
Got a hit song called My Way, but someone else wrote it. You're the least talented rat in your whole pack of rodents. You got more notes in your whole range. You can't act and you can dance.
You can't act. I wouldn't say that. Number one, he did win an Academy Award. And he wasn't the greatest actor of all time. But he was a pretty decent actor, especially movies like The Manchurian Candidate, The Man with the Golden Arm, and of course From Here to Eternity, for which he won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar. That is actually the premise of the character Johnny Fontaine in The Godfather. He's the musician who comes to visit Don Corleone and says he was trying out for this part. It's perfect for him, but he's not getting it. And that is actually what happened with Sinatra. He wasn't going to get the part, but again, due to influence and his connections and everything else, he ended up getting the part. The part was perfect for him. He ended up getting the Oscar for it. So I don't agree that, he wasn't a good actor. There was you were too scared to go to war. He had a hit song called My Way. So he's saying it's interesting. You have this song talking about how you do things your way, but it wasn't even written by you. My Way was written by Paul Anka. And even Paul Anka got that song, I believe, I don't remember, but it wasn't, I think it was a French song originally, and Paul Anka bought the rights to it so he could re-release it. So actually, it's a cover of a cover of a cover. So he says it's funny that you have this song called My Way and you didn't even write it.
My way, but someone else wrote it. You're the least talented rat in your whole pack.
You're the least talented rat in your whole pack of rodents. That refers to the Rat Pack, which came before the Brat Pack. There was a Rat Pack before the Rat Pack, which included Humphrey Bogart, and Sinatra was kind of the connection between the old and the new Rat Pack. But again, the Rat Pack was Frank Sinatra, Peter Lawford, Joey Bishop, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. They were known as the Rat Pack. But he's saying you're the least talented. Yeah, again, can't agree with that. I mean, Sinatra's Sinatra.
You got more notes in your whole range. You can't act and you can dance. I'm more powerful than you when I'm wearing women's pants. Why do you stand there in a suit? It's like you're trying to bowl. When I rock the UK, South America gets horny. Because my song...
That's true. Queen had one of the most successful, if not the most successful South American tours of all time. It's one of the most famous tours ever. It was called the Game Tour. So yeah, they're originally a UK band, but he's saying they made South America horny as hell with their music. You can't act, we already talked about. You can't dance. True, Sinatra was pretty stiff on stage, so to speak. He didn't really move around a lot or anything like that. Whereas I can't think of anyone who was a better frontman, hype person, just the stage presence than Freddie Mercury. So I give him that.
Your music is like the soundtrack to a
Your music is like a sound. Okay. The anthems of victory. I get the soundtrack to a vasectomy. So yes, Queen's music has become, for many, many years now, for decades now, anthems, especially We Are the Champions. That's one of the biggest ones you hear at sports, football games, basketball games, all types of games. We Are the Champions. So yeah, whereas apparently Sinatra's music is a soundtrack to a vasectomy, which a lot of people, especially boomers, would disagree with because Sinatra's music is the music they made love to and made all you babies to.
Your music is like the soundtrack to a vasectomy. You're in the pocket of the mafia and everybody knows. Guinea Dago. Guinea Dago. Guinea Dago. Figaro.
Ooh, Guinea Dago. Ooh, when did this come out?
The jaws of life, I can't.
2012. Okay, 2012. Yeah, Guinea Dago. Again, not something I would expect to hear in a song like this. But again, I'm not being a snowflake or anything. I'm just surprised. But Guinea and Dago are two very derogatory terms towards Italians. Okay, and they did the reference to oh my God, Bohemian Rhapsody. How could I forget Bohemian Rhapsody?
Guinea Dago.
Guinea Dago. Figaro.
These the jaws of life, I can't stand the
Jaws of Life. All right, that was underrated right there.
racist. I love the colors and the quiz.
Oh God, I love the colors and the quiz. He sounds like Archie Bunker over here from All in the Family. Just ask Sammy Davis. Yes, Sammy Davis was what one would have called in a more ignorant time a colored and a queer. Sammy Davis Jr. was bisexual. A lot of people don't know that. Yes. And he was very proud of it. So he's a colored and a queer. Can't believe I'm saying that. Let's just go on.
Just ask Sammy Davis. Look, we all want to swing, baby, but you took it too far. You played butthole roulette, and you lost.
I was wondering how he was going to tackle the AIDS thing, and there we go. You played butthole roulette and you lost the draw. So, I remember it as if it was yesterday. It was around the same time as Magic Johnson had come out that he had HIV. Freddie Mercury came out and admitted he had AIDS, even though most people knew there was something seriously wrong with him because he had lost so much weight. He just looked gaunt. And the next day after announcing he had AIDS, he was dead. So he announces he has AIDS, and the next day he's gone. So he did lose the draw. And it was one of the most impactful of the AIDS deaths at the time. The first one, of course, was Rock Hudson in the mid-'80s. But then Freddie Mercury, and then Magic Johnson, and then there were a few in between, of course. There was Ryan White also, a little boy who got a transfusion. So it was a rough time at the time.
The draw. I took one for both teams from a disease no one knew existed. I didn't leave a mark.
No, I wouldn't say that it was a disease that nobody knew existed when Freddie Mercury got it. In the early 80s, they didn't know what the hell it was. I'm talking like 80, 81. And originally AIDS was known as GRID, G-R-I-D, which was gay-related immune deficiency syndrome. And then in the mid-'80s, it was changed to AIDS, which was acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Because when it was known as GRID, it was thought that it was only a disease that affected homosexuals, gay men specifically. But then a lot of heterosexual people were getting it. And it wasn't until really when Magic Johnson came out at the end of 1991 that he went on a whirlwind tour to educate people about AIDS. And I think single-handedly, nobody did more for AIDS education than Magic Johnson and Arsenio Hall as well, because he accompanied him on a lot of these tours of education. So I still wouldn't say that it was a disease nobody knew of. Were people still uneducated about it? Absolutely. But the disease was well known.
On history, our French kissed it. I'm a champion of the world.
Champion of the World, of course, reference to the Queen song, We Are the Champions. Extinguished in his prime, absolutely. Extinguished in his prime also reminds me of travel at 200 degrees. That's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. And that was Freddie Mercury.
This pride, so kiss my ass, Frank. But you'll have to wait in line.
Okay, that was a good one. Kiss my ass, Frank, but you're going to have to wait in line. A lot of people wanted to kiss that ass. Absolutely. Who won? Who knows? This was just the breakdown. I'm going to do a full grading, of course, as I always do. I do the full breakdown line by line, and then afterwards I do a separate video where I just listen to the song and then grade it on the battle itself. So this was a fun one. Not the best, but again, this is a very early one. This is from 2012, so 10 years ago. A lot of stuff that didn't age well, but in either case, I say an ERB's an ERB, man. I love it. I will catch you next time. Fam! And shouting out the Patreons as always, starting off with the Chancellor tier, Alex, John Alonzo, and Windwalker. The Principal tier, Addison Lynn, Blue Tech, Chad A, Clement, Freeman, Laura, Murikakari, Nathan, Punk, Quiet J, Robin B, and Vijandra. I've been Teacher Eddie, and I'll catch you next time.